All right, what's good, y'all? Now, last Friday, LeBron James has put out his movie of Space Jam 2. And Skip and Shannon, they're going to go over and review it. I mean, personally, I gave it a C, solid 6 out of 10. But that's only because I was watching it with other people. Shout out to Cool and Eyes and the Soul. And us roasting the movie made it funnier. Now, had I not done that, it'd probably be like 3.5 to a 4 max. And I think me giving it a C with us roasting it, having fun and laughing through the movie, is being generous. But anyways, let's see what Skip and Shannon have to say.
Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Guys, how you doing today?
Doing great. Great. It is so good to have you back here in studio so I can educate you about Space Jam, the new one versus the old one. Here we go. Thank you very much for being here.
New one was much better. And I'm glad to return.
Ain't no way Shannon just said a new one was bad. Ain't no way, bro. That's wild.
A lot to say, a lot to talk about. Oh, and we will get to the finals, I promise you that. But, LeBron did have a new movie come out, and we need to review it. LeBron, Space Jam, A New Legacy was released in theaters and on HBO Max over the weekend, and the sequel brought in over $31 million. It's the best three-day stretch for a family film during the pandemic, and one Warner Brothers exec called it the, quote, family movie of the summer. So, Shannon, give the movie.
No, I don't know that much about family movies, but this being the family movie of the summer, that's not looking too good for family movies. I'm sorry.
Letter grade, and was it better or worse than MJ's Space Jam? Tell me.
Well, for me, I gave it a B plus, Skip, because I think it delivered on
Look at that. I was surprised Shannon didn't give it an A plus plus plus.
what it set out to do, and that was a family first film. We understand that family is very important to LeBron James, and it came through on the screen. And I think there are a lot of fathers, a lot of sons and mothers that can learn something from this. Because it started out with LeBron James, and his passion was playing basketball once he got serious about it. And what LeBron tried to do was try to push his passion on his son. But that's not what his son's passion was.
On his second son.
On his second son,
Yes.
right.
Yeah, that's right. On Dom, this completely replacing both of the sons. They really replaced Bronny and Bryce. I think that's the youngest one, or the youngest brother. Bronny and Bryce. They replaced both of them. So I'm curious. I wonder if there's something that goes along in their household between LeBron and Bryce. Who knows? Maybe talking about LeBron and Bronny. And they just didn't decide to show Bronny because Bronny plays basketball, but he's not that good. He's a nice little role player, but that's about it. He's not a superstar like his dad is.
Now, maybe it hit a little different to me because I am one, played a professional sport, and had a son. And a lot of people would ask me, your son play football or play sports? And I said no. Because at the end of the day, Skip, what I took from the movie is that your child will find happiness if he or she does what they're truly passionate about.
I agree with that. As long as you find passion in what you're doing and you stay consistent at it and you put the work in, I think you can go far with it. The only problem occurs is when someone's not passionate about something, you force it upon them and expect them to get the same results you did. That's not going to work the same. Because really, even in basketball, you can take two basketball players that are on the exact same skill level. One person just loves it just a little bit more. The person that loves it more is usually going to win or be better or seem like the better player.
Dom was not passionate about basketball as LeBron was or the older son was. His passion was gaming. And the wife tried to convey to LeBron, he doesn't need a coach. He needs a dad. He needs a dad that loves him, a dad that respects him and says, you know what, son? If you don't want to play basketball, that's fine. And it took LeBron.
Hey man, that's LeBron's way or the highway. Ooh, it's LeBron's way or the highway, man. Not just with his own team, not just with his team, but with his family also, as we can see here. And to a certain degree, it does have to be that way when it comes to family. Because you're the leader of the household, you're the head of the household. There's some things you can't force, man.
LeBron losing his son for him to realize, and sometimes it takes us to lose a child. Skip, you know this. This
Nah, man, it shouldn't take you to lose a child for you to realize that. I'm sorry. That just means you weren't ready to have a child at that point. Should not take you losing your child to realize, oh man, what I did was wrong. Nah. Got nipped out in the bud early. Because if that's the case, you shouldn't have had a child in the first place.
this past weekend, my son got married. And I was a little reluctant at first because I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? I told him, I said, you sure you're ready for marriage? Skip, as I'm sitting at the ceremony, and I talked to him before, he said, Dad, I'm really nervous. As the pastor is going through this and giving them the vows, I'm looking at my son, and I've never seen happier in my life. That gave me peace. And after the ceremony, I put my arm around his bride, Rebecca, and I said, you know what? I've never seen my son so happy. I said, welcome to the show. I'll love you like I love my own kids.
Now that I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible for just a random, well, I can't call her random since he married his son, but just an outsider to love them the same way as you love your own son. I mean, the love for your child is something different. But I get what he's trying to say. Let's just hope he doesn't go through any problems in the future.
You see, LeBron had to lose his son for him to realize that, you know what, basketball is not the most important thing. Whatever my son has passion about, that's the most important thing to him. Now, I played sports for a lot of different reasons. To get my grandmother out of poverty, and so my kids would not have to worry about the things that I had to worry about. And people often say, well, I do for my kids so I can give them things that I never had. True. I love giving tangible things to my kids, but I also love giving them knowledge and understanding that my grandparents and my mom couldn't give to me because they didn't know the things that I was able to attain over the years. So for me,
Not to insult Shannon's intelligence, but I'm just thinking, what is Shannon gonna pass down, or like what type of knowledge rather, and understanding is Shannon of all people going to pass down to his child or his son? Like, I just don't see that, man. I don't see it. Again, he should be passing stuff down to his children, but the intellectual stuff, I don't think that's something that he has per se. I could be wrong. He may prove me wrong, but typically I'm right.
for me, that's what I took from the movie. I thought it hit. Sure, Skip. If people want to say, well, there are too many IPs, there are too many references to other Warner Brother films. But did that distract from the message that it was trying to convey? I don't believe it did.
The message doesn't mean that it's a good movie, man. Okay, listen to what your child has to say. That's pretty well what the message is, or rather, don't force someone to do something they don't want to do. It's just that simple. Just because you have a good message doesn't mean it's a great movie. And giving it a B plus, that's way too high.
So I gave it a B plus. I liked the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie, and I would recommend it because I think a lot of families can take something from it because we see the way parents behave when they go to these games. Because when you behave like that, it's not about you. It's not about, excuse me, it's not about your child. You make it about you. So for me, Skip, I think LeBron message of family first and understanding your kids and their passion and supporting them. And what I told my daughter-in-law family, I said, I never pushed my son in any direction. I just found the direction that he was going in and I pushed him hard. So once I found out what his passion was, which was schooling, I pushed him hard in that direction. I never tried to break him up with anybody he was going with. If that's who you love, son. If you love it, I love it. And so, Skip, that's what I took from the movie. I'm glad I got an opportunity to see it, and it was. I think it's a movie a lot of families can get something out of.
Okay, my turn. So on Friday night, my wife Ernestine and I, and we don't have children, but we did watch the new Space Jam. And we watched it, we watched it, and we watched it, and we watched it some more because I kept dozing off because it's 2 hours long, which is too long.
Dang, Skip sound like Skip sound here like he watched it multiple times. Saying we watched it, we watched it, we watched it. Bro watched it like 10 times just to find everything that LeBron James did wrong in the movie.
Right.
And then Saturday night, we said, let's rewatch. Let's go back because it's up all.
Called it. Look at that. Look at that. I called that. Rewatch the whole movie. That's wild. Unless I'm watching it with like friends or something, I'm probably not gonna rewatch this movie.
All over all you can see it just about anywhere. The original Space Jam, and it's an hour and 28 sweet minutes.
Right. And this was 155, so it's about 30 minutes longer.
It's about 30 minutes over.
So you rewatched the Space Jam. Never mind. Rewatched the original Space Jam rather. Okay.
To me. So that's where I start with this. And the contrast between the new and the old was stunning to my eyes and Ernestine's eyes because the first one is so much more lovable and palatable than this one. And I'll get to your theme that you brought up in just a moment. But because LeBron is a nice guy, I'm going to try to be a nice guy today and give his new movie a C because mostly Don Cheadle is.
That's generous, especially for Skip Bayless. That's generous. Looks like we're on the same page.
Sensational, but he's always sensational because he's just one of the best we have right now, if not right at the top of the list.
Right.
So he takes over much of the back half of the movie, and yet to me, the new Space Jam.
It said Don Cheadle takes up the back half of the movie. That's not Don Cheadle, bro. I had this joke. That's Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels was the villain of the Space Jam movie. He had the whole turtleneck, the glasses. Come on, bro. That was KS right there.
Jam is no closer than the original than LeBron is to Michael Jordan, the basketball player.
They took it in a different direction.
Okay, well, I'll get to that in just a moment. And remember, to me, LeBron, the basketball player, is about as far from the true GOAT, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, as LA is to Chicago. So, to me, the new Space Jam, in the end, comes off as this big, loud, overlong mess of a movie, a big budget movie that is trying so hard that it tries too hard to be the original or top the original. And I told you all last week, LeBron has to be careful here because he cannot be Michael Jordan or beat Michael Jordan. And I think he lost badly once again.
See, LeBron just needs to work on being LeBron. If LeBron's just being LeBron, he'll be the best version of himself. Don't worry about trying to. I'm the best ever now. I'm better than Jordan. Like, don't get me wrong. It's cool to achieve accolades and stuff like that. But you can't try to be somebody else. I think Kobe made that mistake as well. Because Kobe trying to be Michael Jordan left out room for him being him.
Once again, to Michael Jordan in this movie. So, to your point, it's one long ode to LeBron, and it's one long bigger ode to Warner Brothers because they pull out all the stops. It's product placement all over the map of Warner Brothers. It gets so.
No, like, and the movie was messy too, man. Like, towards the end of the movie or towards the climax of the movie, spoilers if you haven't seen already, they show everyone, like almost every Warner Bros. Character on the sidelines watching the game. And it's kind of like, why? Why so? I guess it's because the lives are on the line or something like that. But even so, then they show like Superman showing up out of nowhere, and they don't even have a good reason. Oh, LeBron crashes into a building or almost crashes, so we can't put Superman on the team or Batman or Flash or anybody like that.
It's so bizarre that at the end, during the basketball
Oh, and speaking of the Flash, this man LeBron was making a team, and he said, I forgot what character it was. It might have been Superman, but he said speed. This man sold someone else over the Flash. I think it was Superman. I can't remember off the top of my head. But when you think speed, at least in this universe, you think of the Flash. So that's wild to me.
game, Warner Brothers hauls out every villain from its archive and parades them behind the villain who is Don Cheadle's character.
Like they really got that. I forgot his name. Pennywise. Yeah, they got Pennywise in the film and the Joker. Like why? For what?
Algae Rhythm. And it's everybody. It's like the Wicked Witch of the West. It's Jim Carrey from The Mask. It's the clown from It. It's like,
Hey, there you go, Soul. The Mask. There's that movie again that popped up.
like what? And then I'm looking. I even see that evil gang from A Clockwork Orange. And if anybody knows that movie, that's some evil stuff that they put in there, right? Okay, so the only true to life moment in the movie came very early because it's showing LeBron as a high school player, and guess what? He missed the last second shot.
I knew Skip was gonna say something about that. That's probably his favorite part of the movie. I'm not gonna lie though. When it saw LeBron miss that last second shot, oh, before that they had LeBron small. I'm sorry, they got LeBron way too small being a high school player. They got him at like this 5'6" little boy missing the game winning shot. Instead of made him like 6'2", 6'3" maybe. But I'm not gonna lie, I laughed during that scene, man. LeBron pulled up for the jumper and missed.
Oh, okay, I got it. So I like that part. And then I'm not sure what happens the rest of the movie, but here's my bottom line takeaway. That if you watch these back to back like we did night to night, you'll find that Jordan was far better at playing himself than LeBron was in this movie playing himself. I liked him in Trainwreck, but it was just mostly a cameo. But in this case,
Yeah, like LeBron trying too hard to be the LeBron he's portraying to be. Like, shoot, I saw all those flopping those flopping acts you do in the NBA. Like, I remember when Jimmy Butler pushed LeBron. LeBron gonna go flying across half court. I thought those flopping acts he did in the NBA was to help with this movie. Jeez, LeBron cannot act.
Michael Jordan comes off as completely comfortable playing Michael Jordan. He's cooler, he's funnier, he's completely in control. He's clearly the centerpiece of the movie as the superstar of the movie.
Yeah, but Skip, in the movie, in the original, it's about Michael Jordan leaving the game, coming back and showing that he's better than Larry, showing that he's better than Patrick Ewing. That's what he showed. What was the message? Okay, let me ask you a question. Okay. What was the message in the original Space Jam?
Let me finish my point. So then we have LeBron trying to act in this movie, and he kept coming across as trying so hard to, look, everybody, I'm acting. I'm going to try to.
Look at me. I'm LeBron. I'm LeBron. Like, he's trying too hard, man. LeBron needs to relax. Or I don't know, be himself, wherever that LeBron is. It's like he's trying too hard to portray an image of himself.
Act. I'm doing this. And he came off like a first timer in a high school play because they're asking him to do things that he's not capable of. Because the bizarre plot line that you point up is LeBron was actually the villain for much of this movie.
Yes.
Because he was the overbearing dad who said, I got one son who's going to be great, and I got a second son who wants to create video games?
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
Come on, snap out of it.
Right.
And all of a sudden, his son turns so against him that his son joins forces with Algae Rhythm, the villain of the movie,
Right.
and they create
Kevin Samuels.
the super team that LeBron has to battle with the Toon Squad.
Right.
Okay? So for much of the movie, he's pitted against his son, which I found highly uncomfortable. It was just like, what? Who am I supposed to root for here? Because I find myself rooting for the son who's with the bad guys.
Well, that's what happened.
Let's be honest. No matter what the plot was, we all know Skip was gonna root against LeBron. We all knew this. But nah, man, LeBron was like the villain of this movie. He felt like the villain of this movie, man. Because you go around shooting. What's his name? I was gonna call him Bryce Dominic, or whatever his name is. He gonna lose the ball trying to do an in and out crossover. LeBron might be like, "Oh, maybe if you put in as much work as your brother, you'd be as good as him. You know, he can hoop. You can't." It's it's already started off bad with LeBron. Then going up to the little Warner Bros thing, and LeBron was like, "Man, this is lame. Me in a movie or me with video games. This is whack, man." So it's like LeBron never gets anything, like any redemption. Like he's supposed to have his redemption moment at the end of the movie, but it's still like, it's not really that good, to be honest.
What happens, Skip? Sometimes you can become so overbearing, wanting something not that your child wants, but you want for your child. You push the child away. You push him in a direction that he or she doesn't need to go in. But that's the essence of the movie, Skip.
Okay, but LeBron came across in the end as so wooden and unconvincing because he's trying to show love and forgiveness to his son that's not really his son. If they'd let his actual sons play the roles with him, then maybe he could have just lost himself in the role. But in this case, that wasn't really Bryce, the second son.
I think they try.
I agree with that.
I think they're trying to get away from things of that nature,
Okay.
Skip. It used to be because Will Smith in his movie, I think The Pursuit of Happiness, that was his actual son playing the role. So I think they've tried to get away from that, Skip, putting all the money and the eggs in one basket.
So I didn't know if it was autobiographical, that LeBron's actually had some issues with his second son, Bryce, because I never hear about Bryce playing basketball. Maybe he does, and I don't know about it.
See it.
Bryce has recently started playing with his older brother's AAU team, but he's on the younger version. So they're playing with the same organization, but Bronny's playing 17U, Bryce is playing like 14U or 15U or something like that. And Bryce could be better than Bronny. I'm not gonna cap. He looked like he about 6'2" at 14. Long arms, long legs, paws, like bro. And he's able to play defense. He might be better than Bronny. I'm not gonna cap, but we'll see.
I see it. I see it from time to time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, is he going to be as good as the namesake son, the first son in basketball? I don't know. And has there been some internal conflict in the household of...
Anyways, I got no clue if there's been internal household with LeBron and Bronny or with LeBron and Bryce, whichever one it may be. Who knows? But if something were to come up years down the line, saying, "Oh man, LeBron was too overbearing on me," and Bryce or Bronny said that, would I be surprised? No, not really. So this could be a foreshadowing. So we'll see if that ever comes out. Anyways, that'll do it on this one. So peace.